appreciate it. Please hit that like button so that we can push through the analytics and the algorithm and more people can reach this community. It really does help push this beautiful community. As you see, it's been a while since XRP's made any kind of significant move. My goatee's getting quite long now, and the hair, I told everybody I wouldn't cut it until at minimum it hit $1, and I said it was going to start getting pretty long because we still had some time to go. But isn't it starting to get pretty long? Can everybody see what I'm saying now? Like, the hair's starting to get a little bit long here, so goatee's starting to get a little long. But I'm embracing it, so we'll see how long it takes before I can actually, you know, do something about it. But we need XRP. I might as well say it while I'm on this, and then I'll timestamp it. I talked yesterday in the live. You know what? No. I'll save, if you want to see XRP, go watch my earlier update. And then if you're really interested in hearing my take on what's going on when it plays through further, like I talked about earlier and yesterday in the live, join me at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. It's the most I've looked forward to a live in quite some time, just because of the kind of, you know, sometimes you get the ones who don't understand. So it's nice to see what happened today. Not from the perspective I want XRP to go down, but it needs to go within the descending channel to build pressure. This is what we need for a bigger move up. But good evening, or good early afternoon, 1:33 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Tuesday, November 14th, 2023. I'm XRP future millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. OMC, you're right about that at Micro. He's at this right. I'm telling you though, it's getting quite long, and it's making, you know, it's gonna start getting into the category of like the 2014 time when I first got with Julie. I had my hair like I grew it down to like my shoulders, no joke. So we might get back to that. Terry, welcome in. Soul, ATK, MR, OMC, TI, welcome in. Oh, Johnson, good afternoon. Glad to see everybody tuning in to the Midday Market Report. We got a lot to talk about. Do it as quick as possible because I got to pick up the kids from school soon. Usually I go with Julie's mom. And we also got the, remember I said we were going to have a unexpected reversal in metals yesterday? Here we are the next day, and silver's up 3.5%. We'll get to this, and gold's up better than 16 or 17 bucks almost. Had a nice little return here. Nice little reversal. We talked about how the US dollar, and we'll get to that as well. So let's start with the Dow. The Dow's up 492 points. Today, though, before we go into the charts, it's important to read this. Important information for today. The CPI was released, and listen to this, what they were pushing. Inflation was flat in October from the prior month. Core CPI hits 2-year low. And I'm just going to read the facts right now, the key points. The consumer price index was flat in October from the previous month, but increased 3.2% from a year ago. Both were below Wall Street estimates, sparking a major rally on Wall Street. Now consider this. It was lower than their expectations, but still rose by 3.2% from the same month last year, year over year. That's terrible. But because some asshole said it was going to go, what, 3.6, 4.2, whatever. You know, that's like me saying XRP, you know, is doing good because I predicted at the end of the year it'd be at 70 cents and not $17 like somebody else. No, it's doing what it needs to do, but by no means should we be saying that it's in the promised land yet or make it sound like it's better. We're getting to where we need to go, but it doesn't do anybody any good by pulling the wool over everybody's eyes. Excluding volatile food and energy prices, the core CPI rose 0.2% and 4% against a forecast of 0.3 and 4.1. Oh my goodness. It only rose 0.2 and 4% when they predicted 0.3 and 4.1. Oh, so let's guess they just overanalyzed it so they could at least say, oh, but with smaller increase. Smallest since September 21. I mean, you guys can read into it. The flat reading on the headline CPI came as energy prices declined 2.5% for the month, offsetting a 0.3% increase in the food index. I'm not sure what that means. So I haven't seen any 2.5% decrease in my energy costs. In fact, my energy bill went up this month, because they raised the rates for my energy usage, i.e. gas in the wintertime. Hello, I live in Michigan. I mean, I'm not sure what this figure is false because mine did not go down by 2.5. You could probably times it by 4 in the other direction, and that's how much more we paid in Michigan prior to last month. So unless you live in your parents' house still, and that's not a shot at you, you wouldn't understand this part of it. You know, you need to have your own house and see month over month what's actually happening. I've never been hit harder. I've never made more and had less money in my entire life. It's so crazy. I know a lot of my money's put away outside the dollar, but what I'm saying is in comparison with if I had a $100 bill, it can't get me anything. I literally can't walk out the door without spending $50 now, even if it's for 2 or 3 items. And some will be like, well, what are you buying? I got a child 4. We've got a 10-year-old and a 17 or 16, about to be 17. Mortgage rates are, stay calm. My mortgage rates were not down, actually. Oh, you mean like for getting a loan? Yeah, that's good. If you're talking about for getting a loan, but homeowner's insurance certainly was not. It's a 40% increase on mine. And everybody that I know who lives around us, my brother, my dad's, Julie's parents. But it's been, they're nickel and diming us. But yeah, for the 10-year, it definitely came down, and we talked about that, and we'll get to that as well. We talked about that yesterday to be ready for that. Because nobody wants them. Nobody wants those government bonds, and I speculated yesterday the only reason they raised it up is because the government knew they were just going to buy a bunch of bonds today. We speculated that, and it's so funny how it happened. Stay calm, mortgage. Jorge, you should see how much Canada's went up. I paid $80 a month. Yeah, exactly, Jorge. That's what I mean. The real people know. The real people know. Miss Vicky, welcome in, love. I'm so glad you're here in here talking amongst us. We usually get 40 to 50 good people in here during the midday market report. Today we're on the better side. 31 likes. Please make sure to hit that like button. It's so great. It's really bad in Australia too. We need great communities and stay positive. That's right. And the best way to stay positive is giving the real information and us making sure we invest where we need to, and also becoming our own central banks if we have the ability. But like JW would say, stay on track, Tom. You don't want to go outside yourself. The flat reading on the headline CPI came as energy prices declined 2.5% for the month, offsetting a 0.3% increase in the food index. I'll just say I can test that number. Following the report, traders took any potential Fed rate hikes almost completely off the table, according to CME Group data. And now let's listen to what the professional have to say. But first, you'll hear what I get to say. The Dow is up 492 points right now to 34,833. Obviously loving the inflation news and the most that it likes. But remember, we already knew what it was going to be. We've already talked about the end of year. Just like, can I tell you a secret? The charts didn't account for what happened yesterday for XRP because it was fake. Some people were saying that the charts didn't see it. Oh no, it's seen it, and it told you to ignore what was about to happen because it wasn't relevant. And now look, we're down 5%, but right on the trajectory the chart showed us. At least going down to 633 at minimum to retest the rising channel breakout. That's exactly what we've already done. Now we need to see if we're going to continue down in the descending channel, which is what I'm leaning towards, that we should go down there at about 59.6, just so everybody knows who's an XRP fan, so I don't leave you in the cold. That's where it should go down to, and if it does, you build pressure, and you could have a return rally, and you should up to 85 cents. But you got to do it properly. This big W reversal is no joke, and it even hit the 33,906 breakout target we talked. Bullish Gartley on the bottom where it had to hold that pivot level. Those are 2 pivot layers. Now we're back to the top of the broadening wedge. With the inflation news, I don't see anything stopping us. That's why I called for 36,000. And guess what? What did I tell everybody as well? Ready? And this is not the flex. This is just, I warned everybody, don't go doing all those shorts because Michael Burry did. There was something more to it. They're not going to tell you to short the market and show you that it's going to go short if it's really going to go short. And I told everybody, don't get on that gravy train. And Michael Burry closes 1.6 billion bet against the market. Do you guys know what happened there? How much of a loss? Upwards of 40% he lost on 1.6 billion. So, huge loss. So Michael Berry, everybody told me that you have to go short because, hey, this guy knows it all. I told you, controlled opposition. Make sure you pay attention. They do this all the time. I wonder. Oh, here we go. So just to get to the nuts and bolts. So Michael Berry has closed his short, his $1.6 billion bet against the S&P 500 and NASDAQ short position for an estimated loss of 40%. So he lost upwards of, 700 million? But I talked to everybody about this as well. He had so much invested that he was actually long in the market much more than he was in being short. So whenever they tell you to do something, always pay attention to the optics. Always. That's why when they kept telling us it's all going down, I told you, they're not just going to flaunt it in your face if it's really going to happen. Oh yeah, stay calm. That was by design. The U.S. government forced crude oil in the U.S. on WTI to come down to $77 at minimum and possibly $70. But now, if we finally hit our reversal, this is what the U.S. government did. I think it could possibly, maybe even come down farther because it went into a rising channel right away, which is very uncomfortable. The U.S. government said they wanted it end of year around $70, and I said that's just going to catapult it. This was the route. If it took this route, we're in a lot of trouble because it's probably going to go up to $140, $150 a barrel. I have no doubt in 24, we're probably going to be seeing upwards of 120 plus of oil. It's going to suck. Oh, it's going to suck. And then I know I mentioned it briefly since I'm going through it with XRP. Remember what I talked about yesterday? I drew it out for everybody because I said, you guys can all laugh who's trying to make fun of and saying the charts didn't see it. But the truth is the chart's seen it. We know the pattern. You can have fake outs and fake news. You don't believe it when the charts tell you otherwise. The chart showed us exactly where we were going to go, and I said today we would have our vindication. I told them, are all those people going to be here today when I do the live tonight? So, do you think those people will be in there tonight who were trying to showboat? Or do you think they're going to see what I was talking about? Now, I understand the market at a finite level. That shit yesterday doesn't scare me. I know it needs to happen for XRP to do what it needs to. Am I surprised it's down 7%? No. Remember what I said? I'll see you tomorrow. I didn't say I'll see you in 10 days. I'll see you in a month. I said I'll see you tomorrow when it rotates back down. Because it's fake. And today I'll simply just respond to it by saying the charts predicted that was fake news based on the fact that it showed us we're in a, what? A descending channel. That means you have to build pressure to continue up. It was not meant to go up to 75. In fact, that certified to me that it was a guarantee we were going down, likely. At least to 633, but I thought it would roll us down to 596. The only problem with this now is will that descending channel hold now that we have all that topside liquidity, which was the point I was trying to make yesterday. It was nothing about being bearish, but do you want me to come on yesterday like everybody else, telling you that it's about to go back up and retest and all this crap, or do you want to hear the fact we're about to have an 8% drop? It's not about being negative. I told the truth yesterday, and look what happened. It's doing exactly what we talked about. You don't need to be lied to. I think we're all adults here. I think we want to know what's going on. So next, True, welcome in. I'm so glad to see you in here, my friend. US 10-year, we were on balls yesterday, on the point. We're on the ball. I mean, not on balls. On the point. Or on the ball. We called for a decrease in the 10-year, a decrease in the dollar. And we said yesterday the only reason it went up is because we figured the U.S. government was about to buy today. So they bought it here, then they waited, dragged it down to 4.48. Why buy it at 4.48 if they can artificially let it rise to 4.67 and then buy it back down? The government does this all the time. This is the government bonds here, ladies and gentlemen. And now, do you think there's any doubt that probably if this plays true, this was a fake out, and now it's likely going to have to come down to our levels we talked about? We've been talking about this for, 2 months? It's very predictable when they have to do things by the end of the year. They have to do certain things. The dollar has no choice. As we close in on 24, we talked about how it could go up to 109, but the moment it breaks that rising channel, that's it. I tell this for a reason. I try to make it as easy as possible for everybody who's watching. I do take a lot of criticism, but that's okay. That just means I'm doing something right. Like I say, the trolls are my biggest fans now, because they actually push the algorithm more than my real fans ever could, just because most people that watch me, that like me, appreciate what I do, and they just don't say anything because they want to watch. But the engagement side, I realize, oh, it can be a beautiful thing if you just approach it right. The gold silver ratio here, it reversed back down. We consistently could not break over it, and with the emergence of silver right now, that brought the ratio down. Thank you, brother. You're always spot on the info. I appreciate that, Michael, greatly. Miss Vicky, that's what I do. That's why I like to come here every single day, and this is what, my third time on already today, because I know I have to, because I want to make sure everybody's in the right mindset. But that's why I also do. If I just did crypto, I wouldn't be able to keep you on point. It's the fact that I cover all the markets just as minutely as I cover XRP. Most people you watch that cover XRP, they're just covering XRP. I cover it all. I just don't show it all until now. But every single thing I show, there's a reason why it uses the patterns. I'm not a genius. You just have to understand how to do it. Because I haven't got a clue. When I found you, I stopped getting scammed. Exactly, Miss Vicky. It's the biggest compliment I can ever receive. If I can stop you from getting scammed, I've done my job. I really have. I can't believe there's 70 people on the midday market report today. We're at the top side. I always say there's 40 to 70 people. We'll see how it goes through the midday market report. I've already been on much too long to not even be done with this yet. I do all that, the cryptocurrencies, at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I expect to see everybody in there that's in here right now. You know why? It's going to be a fun one tonight. Because I told everybody I'll see you in 24 hours that we're making a disturbance yesterday, so that we could see exactly why. And now you can see how the charts predict the move, and the fact the charts didn't predict that move showed it was fake news. That's what I was trying to say yesterday. It wasn't about being negative about XRP. I said I'll see you when it comes down in 24 hours. I said I'll see if you're willing to come in here tomorrow when it's down. So yada, yada, yada. Gold up 1661. Remember I said yesterday, and I can replay the tape, but I won't. And I'm going to stop talking about myself, because how stupid does that sound? Oh, I said it yesterday. Okay, and what about today? I got to get out of saying that. See, I don't want to keep saying it like that. So, what we were anticipating is that the US dollar had to come down, the government bonds had to come down. So it gave us the feel like we were about to have an unexpected rotation back up with gold and silver. And it felt like it was very close. And we rotated back up, and this is what we were talking about yesterday. At least if you were watching for the last few days, it was starting to condense down. We had what looked like a left arm starting on this V-shaped recovery. If it was going to be a head and shoulders on the top, one could say that was a left shoulder, but I think it's an inverted head and shoulder on the V-shaped recovery. And now it's coming up. And if it does break this out, I think we're coming up to about $24.34 area. You break that where that X is, it's going to be a big move. So I think metals are getting a unprecedented, getting ready for a rotational move here. It's bounced off here, and this is what you could expect if it bounces off and plays true. That was the targeted move if it plays true, the entirety of the move. And then you likely could expect some kind of back test, maybe up to 21.19, and then retesting the old all-time high where it broke through for the fourth time now into discovery. Now it could actually back test it in the discovery zone. So MKP says, I try to watch your videos, Tom, but visiting family out of town, lousy cell reception and Wi-Fi not the best. Hey, I completely understand that, MKP. Completely understand that. And I'm glad you're able to visit family. Be safe on your trip, man. That's very important. Mac, great job, Tom. Unfortunately, I gotta watch, see what that. Unfortunately, I keep missing the live streams, but I'm still here. I appreciate you. Hey, no problem. Just remember, my live streams, I'll start at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day on purpose, just so everybody can be there. I won't start it at 6:25, 6:37. I'll just start it at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day, half hour before the close. Headed for 58, hopefully. Yeah, that 597 seems like it's definitely on board here. I don't mind bringing up XRP because I mean, I don't want to be a dick, but this is the exact argument yesterday. Be careful what you say. Let it play through. Remember what I told everybody? I said, I'll see you tomorrow. I said we got the top side liquidity yesterday, so I knew today we were going to create. And remember what the problem was yesterday, what I was all caught up on? The fact that went up there now could be perceived as a double top. This is best case scenario now. You hold that descending channel and build the pressure. The inflation report today is good. It helps. It leads me to believe we'll be bullish year of end of year. That doesn't necessarily mean crypto, but that means the stock market. Crypto has to hold this consolidatory point right now when it comes down here. And we need to bounce off the 200 because this would create the inverted head. And we're in a descending channel, so you build pressure. I'm not going to lie to everybody just because somebody puts out a fake article. I debunked it right away on the charts. Even if it's not real, even if it's real, the fact that BlackRock came out with one of their workers and actually came out and disproved it, now the burden of proof is on you if you want to make it true. This is exactly what was going to happen yesterday. I tried to warn everybody. I'm not a genius, everybody, but when they line up everything like that, everybody really thought it was going back up, and I can't help that I'm not going to believe into the hype. I know what I'm looking at. So yeah, I took it on the chin yesterday because how many people were in that live yesterday criticizing me out of 150? A lot of them. I actually handled it very well yesterday. It's probably the best I've ever handled it. It actually showed the growth. Oh, it's still on the Delaware website. It absolutely is. They're not just going to take it off. It's allowing for too much of topside liquidity. And if it is true, we want it to come out as proof. But you don't want to be stuck in this. You know how many people are in a long right now? I mean, do you know how many people were in shorts that got liquidated to the top side, to the downside, back to the top, and now it's just doing the exact move we knew? This is why futures trading, everybody can say what they want and say that they're a genius. You can't predict stuff like what happened yet. I don't care what anybody says. Look at this. This is a disgrace. This might fall right through 597. I'm not joking. They gave us too much topside liquidity. This is my argument from yesterday. It's going to fall through too fast, and now can it catch? It's amazing. It's amazing what a little bit of knowledge can give you, because this is exactly what we talked about yesterday. And now are those same people going to come back today? Remember, I got hammered yesterday because of this headline. And this is before what happened. I said XRP holders, traders warning XRP forms descending channel, expect 8.25 drop imminently. And that was from where we were at, and I measured it higher too, but I kept the 8.25, and it was for the targeted move to 597. I said watch for an immediate move down there, not in a week, imminent. What did we just hit? That imminent target in less than 24 hours. I don't know how much more clear I can be when I talk to everybody. You know, and I know I take a lot of criticism, not fairly done, but that's what you take when you're in a leader position. You have to take criticism, but then you just keep proving your point time and time again. Did I make my point now? Does everybody understand what I was saying yesterday when I said I'll see you in 24 hours? Are you going to be man enough to come in here and criticize me tomorrow when it's exactly where I said it was going to go? We'll see at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I will be very blunt tonight. I was very ripped on yesterday, and I said I'm fine. And I use it as a motivation. We had a very fun live, but I said I'll see you in 24 hours when it hits the target. I was very bold about that. They gave us all the liquidity in the world. We had no chance of holding today. Now what we have to hold is they didn't give us enough liquidity to pull us through this, which I don't know if they did. I think, like I said yesterday, it guaranteed the move down. But now did it give us the catalyst to now maybe use that topside liquidity, form that low on the descending channel? And again, unless you understand the pattern, I didn't say it was going up. And then everybody said I was being overtly bearish. How is that being bearish? I'm saying what I think needs to happen to build the pressure. This is what you want. Look how small the volume is. Everything got all jumped out of whack yesterday. And I guarantee you, today is going to be one that you don't want to miss at 6:30. Oh, I'm going to be positive, Tom, because that's what we do. We're positive over negativity, ladies and gentlemen. We are the light in a world surrounded by darkness. But at the same time, when you are the light, you also have to say your truth. You can't just let people walk all over you either. You have to make sure you can see. Sometimes I'm not going after the trolls, but what I am doing is maintaining the integrity of my community. Because I want the next generation that comes in to understand what I'm about, not to be walked all over. And you know, those people end up leaving. They won't be here today. You know why? It's kind of hard to come back and show your face when you just told the person that he was wrong and his imminent move was whatever, and then the imminent move happens within 24 hours. You know, I don't use the word imminently lightly. When was the last time you seen me put imminent in my title? Not in a very long time. But yeah. Yep, and I usually let the comment section take care of it. So, I know MGR, it's incredible. It's incredible. But B2 Gold, we talked yesterday, $2.97. I really told everybody, good spot to start buying, and I told everybody where I'm at now. I got 3,500 bucks in there at $2.97. It's just that simple. So I put in my own, I did what I said. So go up or down with the ship is the way it goes. So that's what I got on the midday market report. The only thing I want to finish, Michael Berry, good job. He did exactly what he was supposed to with controlled opposition. Inflation was flat in October from the previous month, providing a hopeful sign that stubbornly high prices are easing their grip on the U.S. economy and giving a potential green light to the Federal Reserve to stop raising interest rates. A catastrophic disaster would cause hyperinflation like we've never seen before. The Consumer Price Index, which measures a broad basket of commonly used goods and services, increased from 3.2% from a year ago, despite being unchanged for the month. According to seasonally adjusted numbers for the Labor Department, on Tuesday, economists surveyed by Dow Jones had been looking for respective readings of 0.1 and 3.3%. The headline CPI had increased 0.4% in September. Here, I'll let you listen to them. My voice is getting a little tired. I'll see everybody tonight at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to see a nice truth, heartfelt, to the point, and I'm just me at the best I could ever be and looking forward to something more tonight than I have in a while, you're going to get to see the juicy, spicy, truthful, and exciting, and very compassionate Tom. I'll be very compassionate in my in what I say. So I expect to see everybody there.
To tell me you want a new iPhone, I better
get to Rick Santelli standing by.
I also respect the one person who sent a donation during this live. I know it's the midday market report, but I respect that $20 donation. I do. I respect it. The one donation in the show. I would hope more people will join Tom's army, but that'll come in time. I'll continue leading my army in the right direction, and who's in my community for free, just to prove that it can be done.
Morning. Yes, October read on our consumer price index. Month over month headline expected up 1/10 comes in at 0, unchanged 0, which equals the lowest we've seen on this metric since we hit our high at 1.2. That was in June of 22. That was the highest since 05. So 0 ties. That's the lowest we've been. And if you strip out the all-important food and energy, it's up 2/10. That's 1/10 cooler both than expectations and the rear view mirror. Year over year headline up 3.2%, 1/10 lighter than expectations.
Jose, welcome in.
Less than the 3.7 look last time. 3.2, just to put a face on it. 3.0 in June of this year was the lowest since March of 21. So we're still above.
Guys, you have to admit though, I know there's no point with the trolls. But yesterday was a perfect opportunity because I knew it was going to happen today. They gave me the topside liquidity, so it was a guarantee. So today we can have fun. I just want to see how many people show up. This is the one time we can hold some people accountable and see if they actually are willing to come back one day later. It's not like it's 6 months later. I'm looking so forward to being criticized tonight, but I'm going to take it in good conscience, and I'm just going to show everybody what they need to know. I'm going to show everybody as long as we can get the downside pressure to hold, because now we've built that pressure. If we can hold it, we're on a destined move to 85 cents. It's just, did that topside liquidity give us too much force breaking down? Oh, no. Nobody, who pissed off Tom? I guess you could say that, but I'm not pissed off, actually. This isn't pissed off. You have not heard one swear word, and you have not heard me raise my voice. I think everybody who's been around since 21 knows pissed off Tom. He doesn't. No. This is, ooh, I want to, this is just one of those things, man. I'm not mad. I just want to prove that when you have a troll, it's not a bad thing. It's actually a really good thing because they get the crowd going, they get the interaction going, but then at the end of the day, they won't be there when the stuff actually happens. That's all we want to see. Yeah, vindication. Vindication is a good thing. Oh yeah, pissed off Tom. This is actually very I always tell people this is scary, Tom. When you can't rattle Tom and make him mad when you're trying to be a troll and he actually, it's not that he's engaging, he's trying to make a point. That's when you should be afraid. Yesterday I was making a point of where it was going to go, and the fact that the charts, I was getting criticized because they said, I thought you said the charts can predict the news. Oh, they can. Like I said yesterday, come back tomorrow. The charts predicted that this was bullshit news, and it's going to go exactly where the charts told us. And it did one day later. Everybody, a round of applause for the charts. The time-tested champion of no bullshit.
Of that level, and finally, what I would consider potentially the most...
Well, we can't go that far because actually, you know, technically, it's not time-tested. It's a time-tested that it's full of manipulation, but hey, we can see it thanks to TradingView. So give a round of applause for the manipulated charts, but we can still at least see them happening in front of us.
Most important, even though it's ex-food and energy, is year-over-year CPI, 4%. One-tenth
right,
lighter than we were expecting, 1/10 lighter than our last look, which was 4.1. And the metric there, and this is a biggie, we haven't been under 4% since May of 2021. Yes, under 4% since May of 2021, although this is the lowest level.
Guys, can I tell you one other thing that's hysterical? Okay, so you need more money if you're letting the government borrow your money. Do you know what they did today? How they lowered the 10-year? That means if you get a 10-year government bond, it just came down from 4.67 to 4.4 and some change in less than 1 day. So you're getting less money as inflation continues to go up 3.2% year over year. We just got conned. Inflation's up 3.2% this time last year, and the 10-year went down, the 1 year went down, the 6-month went down. It should have went up. You got to account for that 3.2% year over year. It hasn't. And now they're talking about lowering rates. I mean, lowering basis points. Like, I swear we jumped. I'm not going to get into it. JW will say, Tom, just hit the play button so you don't get in trouble. And JW, I appreciate that because that is very solid advice.
Level since 6.6, which was a high watermark in September of last year. Now, if you look at the markets, interest rates have moved down. We moved from basically 461 in 10s down to its current level at 447, which equals our intraday low test that we had last week. So you want to pay particularly close attention. And the pre-opening Dow futures have moved higher as well.
I am
dramatically higher as well, like 300 points higher as well. So this number is being taken as a good sign, and I understand why, especially if you look at the month over month and you start interpolating out. But I will still leave us all with the notion that 4% year over year X, very important food and energy. And by the way, all these stories about EVs and power grids and losses on transition, they're not going away. These numbers for energy and pockets of energy are going to stay firm. But
don't let these guys distract you by the fact that we're having some beautiful changing of the leaves here in Michigan right now. I mean, have you ever seen a color so gorgeous? Look at these colors. I mean, seriously. So there's a lot of good despite the bad. You can always find good in nature. Just remember, if you want to smile, maybe the mind's filled with too much thought, go out in nature and start looking for the beauty around. You know, come here. And if you have a cat like me, it'll just come around when you ask for nature. Yeah, I know. So, there's a lot to be thankful for. You know, I'm thankful for the fact that we can all get together each and every day and we can stay ahead. You know, I'm thankful for that. I really am. It means a lot to me.
But that is the number I think is important. All the metrics have moved lower, and as I said, even though all of these have moved lower, they haven't really taken out, other than the headline equaling the lowest level since our high water mark, the others still are comping above levels that were lower. The 3.2 is obviously good news, but as I said, it was 3% in June. We want to pay more attention to how this transitions into the actual opening, but we'll toss it back to the panel to debate some of these numbers. Joe, back to you.
Yeah, immediate reactions, though, and pretty bigger than we've seen recently. Stay with us. Let's bring in our senior economics reporter, Steve Leisman, along with Joe Lavorgna, chief economist at SMBC Nikko Securities, and Kitty.
Literally, I don't want to be rude, but this is what you don't pay attention. You watch it, but you understand their job. All of them, who you see on this panel, their job is to mislead you and feed you false information right now. What they should be saying is, year over year, it's horrible. They predicted 3.3%, it's 3.2%. So it missed by 0.1%, that's good? No, that's not good. That just means you overanalyze and you couldn't even predict the prediction, right? And then when they redo it next month, they always redetermine the numbers, and it'll probably over the number they expected anyhow when they rework the numbers in the next. But hey, who am I to say? I'm just XRP future millionaire.
Kitty Richards, a former Treasury Department official under President Biden, also served as an economic advisor to the president when he was vice president. Steve, we'll go to you first. And I think one of the things Rick said was that 4.5 we saw has been breached on the downside for the 10-year. So that sort of, I don't know, that's kind of like a confirmation of that move maybe at this time because of the CPI number.
Yeah, I think that's right, Joe. There has not been a lot of inflation in the move up in interest rates, and it's interesting to see some move down in it. It's not quite there yet, but we're still quite a bit above financial conditions being tighter. But this is a good report. There were some surprises to the downside, and it's been a bit since we've had surprises to the downside. We're incrementally making progress towards the Fed's goals here. One of the big standouts here was the owner's equivalent rent, which is the proxy for housing, down to 0.4% after 0.
We hear what we needed. Yeah, the 10-year. Remember, if you've been, for anybody who's been coming in, we have a very big target here. We think it's coming down here, likely down to 3.9%. I think that's where they're trying to work. I don't think it's actually going to hold option one. I think they're working it way down here. I really do. I think they're going to buy this sucker up, because you need the 10-year to come down and the dollar to come down if you want to keep pumping these markets. So I'm XRP future millionaire. I really look forward to seeing everybody here at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because we have a lot to talk about. I won't come on and do an update for XRP until then. I'll let the market do what it needs to do. Everybody who is in right now, I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. And XRP, I mean, all I'll say to end is just continue to pay attention, continue to tune out the noise, and as long as we can continue to have a fundamental understanding of the pattern formation, we will be able to front run the next move. Where does this actually go? Let me highlight this. It's so hard to see. It's about there. But as long as you know where you're going, you should be able to predict and front run these moves. That's always been my point. If we can just, you don't need to make a pattern prediction, but what you need to do is predict the proper pattern move. And what I mean by that is you have to understand where the formations are. If you can predict how we know we're in a, I keep calling it like a descending channel. You can call it a falling channel, but I think it's descending. It's going down on the lows and highs. You're parallel. I mean, this is exactly what you want to see. Now, my whole thing was, is it really going to be able to hold the 597? I don't know, because I was expecting it to come down here. I wasn't expecting that big move up and delay the rotation. I thought it was just going to fall before that. But we knew it was going to come down, but now it opens the door. It might come to 587. We don't know. It hit the 200-day. But if it's being respectful of this falling channel, it should come a little bit lower with the move yesterday. It gave us more downside liquidity, and that was my fear yesterday. If we break through this area, we could have a lot of problems here. So I'll debate. I don't think I want to come back on until 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to let this play out, and then I'll let a lot of people come in who wants to. So please make sure you share this. I hope to see you at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm so pumped for this live tonight in a good way, and it's going to be one of those statement days for the community, you know, so it'd be a beautiful thing. Thank you to all you with your